Hi, you're watching IBTV, Information Builders Television, with your hosts, Chris Banks, Melissa Trier, Jake Freevold, Peter Walker, and other special guests.
Welcome to Information Builders Summit 2017. My name is Chris Banks, and I'm here with my co-host,
Melissa Trier. Thanks for joining us, guys.
You're a little raspy.
I am a little raspy, but we're not going to talk about that, right?
No, we're not.
No, good. Oh, good. So how exciting is this?
This is super exciting. We're here in Dallas, Texas at the Gaylord, I'm going to say Resort and Spa. Is there a spa here?
There is a spa here.
I'd like to go to the spa.
I would too. I don't think we're going to have time to go to the
No
spa.
time for the spa.
No time for the spa. So many other exciting things going on.
There are hundreds upon hundreds of people here waiting to get inside for the keynote. Exciting times.
It's exciting. I'm so excited. It is. This is like my, I was thinking this morning getting ready, this is like one of my favorite things that happens every year. Some people's favorite thing is Christmas. Mine happens to be Summit.
Me too. Hey, so a couple of things.
Yes.
I took some notes, but I didn't share them with you.
He never does.
Because I like to keep you on edge.
I know. This is good. It's always
But the
good.
first thing I wrote down, it's a brand new day, and it truly is a brand new day for us at Information Builders. Exciting things. I believe we're going to hear some stuff up on stage.
We are.
So it's exciting times.
Do we want to talk about it now, or we want to talk about it later?
Well, I've got a little press release here about an investor that has invested in Information Builders, Goldman Sachs. Exciting, right?
Very exciting. It says a lot about Information Builders. The company like Goldman Sachs investing in our company.
Absolutely.
After a lot of due diligence on their part.
We were hoping it was going to be a little earlier, right?
We did, but better late than never.
Absolutely.
But
and
Goldman Sachs looking to get into high tech, looking and investing in various companies to get them into that space. And they are investing in Information Builders.
Which is awesome, not only for you and I and for the rest of Information Builders, but all the folks out here.
Absolutely.
This is just going to another notch in the longevity of the Information Builders legacy, right? So it's exciting. It's a good time to be here, and it's a good time for the customers.
I think from an employee perspective, we're so proud of it because it speaks volumes about the type of organization that has been developed over the past 40 plus years. I mentioned due diligence. They did due diligence.
Oh, big time.
It was a long process. For them to come out of that and say, yep, Information Builders, thumbs up, this is the company that we want to invest in to get ourselves into this space, it says a great deal.
I think so too.
About us. So very exciting times, for sure.
Can I give a shout out to all the people that wrote those nice notes to us
Yes.
at kickoff?
We definitely.
There were so many accolades, and even last week or this past week, I was getting people running into me saying, "Oh, are you guys getting ready to write your scripts for TV?" And
Did you tell them we don't do scripts?
well, I do, because I have my entire script right here. But you don't do scripts, and everybody loves Melissa Trier. Oh,
No. They like you way better.
So
As a matter of fact, we missed you last year at Summit.
You did.
You weren't here.
I was not
and Jake
here.
is a wonderful co-host. Love Jake Freevold. But
Little dry.
he's not Chris Banks.
He's a little dry.
And so really happy to have you back.
You saying he's dry?
I am saying it's wonderful to have you back.
It's great to be back. So I watch, I always like to watch us to see how we do. I did talk too much last time because I didn't give you a chance to talk enough. So that's something, a tape face, and I didn't bring my tape with me. But you know what I noticed? I have a horrible profile.
Oh, we both do.
No, you do not. I have a horrible profile. I was watching a Liam Neeson movie. And I was saying, oh my God, look at his nose. It looks like it was broken like 14 times. And then all of a sudden I'm watching IBTV. My nose looks like it was broken 14 times.
It doesn't.
Yes, it
You
does.
have a very straight nose.
No, I don't. I've got this thing here, and there's a story behind that I'm not going to share, but holy cow. So I'm not going to turn too much because I'm self-conscious now about it.
Oh
In
my
fact,
gosh.
I think my nose looks like the witch's nose from Snow White.
Oh, I really don't think
I
so.
do. So I wanted to share that. I wrote that down. Another thing that I wrote down, I kept pronouncing Ventana Research incorrectly. I said Vantana. And I said it in front of Mark Smith, who had the best accolades at kickoff. And here I am
amazing.
butchering the name of his organization. So I apologize, Mark Smith. It is Ventana Research.
So speaking of Mark Smith,
Is he here?
he is going to be here.
Can't wait.
And a lot of analysts are joining us at Summit. Gosh, it's like so many of them, so many voices follow our space.
So we've
But
got
a lot of them are going to be here.
Mark Smith.
From where?
Ventana Research.
Very good.
Boris Evelson from Forrester.
From Forrester.
Wayne Eckerson, who I believe has his own gig these days, right?
Howard Dresner.
Howard Dresner from
Wisdom of
Dresner
Crowds.
Advisory Services. Lindsay Weiss is going to be here.
He does a lot in the mid-market, right? Follows the mid-market. We have a lot of new mid-market customers here.
I want to say Dan Vessett's going to be here.
From IDC.
IDC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge
And I think I'm
list.
missing a couple of more names. So I apologize about missing those. But you know what?
They're
It's
all
kinda
going to be
cool.
in here, too.
And they all love us, too, which is neat.
Very cool.
And it's a nice reminder of that. Another note that I wrote down, Dresner, Howard Dresner's Wisdom of Crowds. Just came out. And guess who had a perfect recommend store? We did.
How many guesses do I get?
Information builders.
Again, a perfect recommend score. So tell everybody what that means, because that's like the big deal.
That means every customer that he spoke to basically said they would recommend us to anybody interested in buying our technology, which is pretty cool.
Given a choice of buying, would you buy Information Builders technology again? Everybody surveyed, 100% of the people said yes.
And they said, heck yeah. I
Which
love
is
that.
wonderful. So very happy about that new survey coming out.
I wrote down that we need a theme song. I don't like
I
that
think
whole
we
trailer
do.
of
I do.
IBTV. You got Boylan's kids who were like 4 years old and now they're in
And
like
now
college.
they're in college. So
And
anybody that
we
thinks
need a
we
new
need a new
thing.
theme song, will you please write in? Because we're talking to our producer, Chris Boylan, and Chris really does need to develop us
And
a
we
new
want
theme song.
suggestions from you. So feel free to email us individually or together. Chris Boylan, IBTV Live.
IBTV Live. And
He's showing us his phone and we're
there's
live.
so much great footage that we need to splice in. So this is just a recommendation to our producer. We have footage with Lee Corso, with Johnny Bench. We have all
Johnny
this amazing
Bench.
footage that we need to be splicing in. We've really kind of elevated this over the last couple of years. What do you think?
I know NBC is looking at us.
I think so.
Savannah Guthrie,
we're
Matt
entertaining
Lauer,
offers.
they're going to be out. I really don't want to... Good Morning America, we'll talk about that another time. I'm really disappointed with them.
Before you do that, though, can I say something else that I was thinking about this morning? So here's the good news and bad news. We've been doing this for a while, right?
We have.
The one thing that is good and bad, I love this. I'm so happy that we get to do this and we bring this to you guys, especially at Summit. But it shows we're getting older.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm like Benjamin Button.
All right,
I
so
think
you're
I
getting
always
younger?
had gray hair, and I think my hair is going to start getting darker.
So I had one of the feedbacks came back from like 8 years ago when we were doing this, and I was like, wow.
8 years you've been doing this?
Yes. And I
I
think
was
we're just
doing it
getting
before
better.
that.
I think we're just getting better. But and maybe you guys can comment on that. Give us a thumbs up.
Send
on
us
that.
text messages. Let us know what you're thinking. Again, theme song. And you can comment
Live
on
on Facebook.
Facebook too.
Comment
Live
now.
feed. We can do that as well.
So should we
People
thank
are coming
everybody?
in. Who?
All the great work that this event takes to put together, or are we going to do that later?
We'll do that later at
All
the
right,
wrap
we'll do
up.
that later.
Hey, so somebody's performing live right now inside, and he's also going to be performing after Jerry's keynote. Are we allowed to say who it is? I mean, he's doing it now.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear him. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear him. We have a contestant from The Voice who actually won The Voice.
Who won The Voice
2016.
last season.
His name is Sundance Head. And
Amazing.
we got to meet him in the lobby as after he checked in yesterday. He brought his son, I believe, with him.
Awesome voice.
Yeah.
I
just
followed.
amazing.
I followed The Voice every once in a while, but I followed his season consistently, and it was him. He drew me in. I voted for him consistently every week in, week out. Gave him the 10 votes every week. I loved him. So it was so cool that he's going to be here, and hopefully we'll have him on stage with us after.
See, I only watch the blind auditions.
That's the only part. You don't like to see their journey?
No, because can I tell you, so here's my pet peeve with The Voice. You just picked 10, 5, how many singers on your team. Then the next round is the battle round where I'm going to put 2 of my guys or gals toe-to-toe against
I
each
don't like
other.
to watch the battle round.
And one of you is out. And
I
it's
like to watch
well,
it after the battle round.
So one of my favorite cities is Nashville. And I had the pleasure of presenting down there a few weeks ago or a month or so ago, and got down to Nashville, and I went around to some of the local places to see live music. And oh my gosh, if you haven't been to Nashville, Tennessee, highly recommend. amazing talent down there. One of the guys I got to see perform, I didn't even realize his name was Kenny P, and he was on The Voice this season. So you can Google him and check out on YouTube how his blind audition went. He was picked by both Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. He went to the battle round against a guy that was like Luther Vandross. What a beautiful voice the guy had. And he beat him, knocked him out.
That's hard.
But now you hear he had two guys that were amazing, and all of a sudden now he's out. So the fact that he won.
He won.
Amazing.
He won. And
amazing.
he won like hands down. He was incredible. So I'm excited. We got to meet him last night. Hopefully we'll have him up in a little bit. But really super guy, wonderful voice, great singer. Wish him all the luck.
Oh,
in
I
his
do
career.
too. I hope his career just skyrockets.
So Sundance Head. If you haven't watched The Voice, if you
Check it out.
haven't heard of him, definitely give him a look and start downloading some of his music because it's quite good. So let's talk about Summit. How
No,
excited
not
are
yet.
we here?
No, I don't want to talk about that yet.
We're not going to talk about Summit.
So last night, I don't know if you watched it. The Stanley Cup Finals is going on.
No. I watched The Voice and Sundance
The
Head.
Nashville Predators
I have no idea even who
and
that
the
is. What is it
Pittsburgh
with you in Nashville?
Penguins.
Nashville.
Predators won last night. I know. I'm telling you. I think I'm a new Nashville fan.
I think so, too.
Oh, I just want to go there. But anyway, they were on. But that's not where I'm going because in addition to the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals is going on. You're from Ohio.
I am.
Are you a Cleveland Cavaliers fan?
Not necessarily.
Oh. Are you a LeBron fan?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Do you want them to win?
Sure. I really don't have a horse in that race, as they say. I really don't.
Why
care one
don't
way
you
or
have a
the
horse
other.
in that race? You're
I
from
really
Ohio.
Don't. I really don't. It really doesn't matter to me. I just don't follow the NBA that closely. So, full disclosure.
Well,
LeBron James, though, amazing athlete, one of the best, if not the best, basketball player of all time. Right?
He's one of them. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he is the best of all time. He's certainly
But
one of them. But I wouldn't say he's the best.
Do you? Do you care?
I do care.
Who do you
and I'll
like
tell
to
you
win?
why I care, because I haven't cared in a long time. I think they
tell
make
me
way
why.
too much money. But my son, Rory, is a big basketball little dude right now.
He's such a cool little dude.
And
he takes after his
he has
mom.
the compression sleeves going on and stuff for no reason other than he wants to look cool. But I've been following basketball a lot with him specifically,
Very
and
cool.
it's down to the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh my gosh, Golden State is just kicking their butts.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a team versus one guy, right?
well, they have a great team, right? And not that the Cleveland Cavaliers do not, but boy, Golden State is just rocking it. So it should be interesting. The next game, which is tomorrow, is in Cleveland.
yeah.
So they'll have the home court
Cleveland has
advantage.
an amazing fan base.
But
so
let's see
maybe
if
that'll
they
give
can
them a
step
little
up and
boost.
stop them.
What's the score right now? Like how many?
2-0.
Oh, all right.
Best of 7.
All right.
Anyway, let's talk about Summit.
Let's talk. Are you ready to talk about Summit now, or you want to talk about Nashville?
No, wait,
more?
hold on. You have TV fans. Hey, what are you watching on TV these days? People want to know.
I am so excited. House of Cards is back on.
Haven't started
Streaming
it yet.
again. We started it. Amazing. I'm very happy with it.
So I'm neck deep into Bloodline.
Did that come back on?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get back up on that.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little disenchanted with Bloodline
Oh,
this
are you?
season.
Well, I became disenchanted before.
I mean, when you sit back and look at all the drama that's going on with for this family, oh my gosh, it's getting to be a little too much.
a little bit too much.
So,
all right, so
I don't
maybe
know if
won't
I'm going to
be doing
recommend that to anybody. But Fargo is on.
Mm-hmm.
You
Haven't watched that.
that.
Homeland. Haven't finished the latest season
Billions?
yet. Yes, I'm into that as well. So I got a lot of different things going on, but all good. But House of Cards starting out strong. I'm
I
only
love Claire
two
Underwood.
episodes in.
I hope Claire Underwood runs for president. They should take that to the next line of it.
So Summit 2017. Here we are.
Smile at the camera. So
So we're super excited. About 1,000 people here joining us.
that's amazing,
in
and
Dallas.
people are still coming in. Look at this.
And tons of people coming in. This is like our official kickoff, our keynote today. We had a welcoming reception last night, but this is really the official start opener of Summit 2017.
They had mac and cheese last night.
They did. I didn't have any. Did you?
and chicken wings.
Did you have mac and cheese?
I tried the mac and cheese. It was good, but I was hoping for something else. But anyway, listen, let's talk about the agenda. Jerry's going to be kicking off. We've got some slick demoers joining Jerry up on
We
stage.
had a lot of people joining Jerry this week.
The mighty Quinn is going to be up there.
Yes.
Porter Thorndike is going to be up there, bow tie and all.
And Don Bowers is going to be demoing.
Didn't know that.
From our iWay division.
That is awesome. I think Dan Ortolani's going to be up there.
Yeah.
Why is he going to be up there?
Talking about launching our new cloud business.
Love it.
Very exciting.
I think Mark Nesson's going to be up there.
Oh, okay.
We have the enterprise usage monitor that came out late last year, but he added something brand new as well. So we're going to be showcasing that, and I don't want to steal his thunder. So it should be neat.
Should be really great. We're doing a lot of new development, not only on the iWay side, but on the BI side.
Absolutely.
And that's what Kevin's going to be showing. So hopefully you guys can hang in there with us and stick with us, because lots of new roadmap stuff.
Well, a lot of
I know that's a
innovations,
high
right?
technical term.
A lot of innovations.
That's going to be talked about, and we're really excited about sharing
Now,
today.
one of the things I've got sitting off to the side, which you guys can't see, is an Amazon Echo Dot. And time permitting, we're going to get somebody up here to show you out in the field. So if you have any pre-sales SEs specifically that are watching that are not here, obviously you're not here if you're watching, or maybe you're in your room right now and you don't want to come down, you're watching. There is a slick demo with the Amazon Echo that we want you to see. Something that we were able to do for quite a while. I don't know why we haven't been showcasing this, but we'd like to showcase it today so they can see how that works as well. So fun stuff going on.
Fun stuff. I know. Like I said, I think we say this every year. I wish everyone could be here because it's so much great energy. Wonderful when you get 1,000 of our customers and prospects come as well. Which is really
That is a
something
key
that
thing,
we
right?
welcome our prospects, people that are evaluating us for a possible investment. And we welcome them with open arms to come to Summit. And we let them just walk around and talk to anybody because that's how confident we are that they're going to walk away with a positive experience and talk to people that are just really happy with information builders. So.
Yes, Mr. Producer.
Jeff, Pam, and Brian all say thumbs up, looking good.
All
Jeff,
right.
Pam, and Brian. Well, thank you
Excellent.
so
Thank
much,
you so
guys.
much.
And thanks for tuning in. We appreciate that. Hey, a big shout out to the folks in customer support.
Yes.
If it wasn't for you all, this would not be happening. So thank you, guys. When I say customer support, not just the folks that are taking the calls, even product managers that may be back in the office, that everybody is here for the value of our customers. So all your hard efforts go a long way.
Oh my gosh,
Know
absolutely. This takes a village, literally, to put all of this together. I mean, all the people back in our pubs area and our marketing group and all of the work that goes into...
Even everybody, developers, QA, even people doing contracts. It's all so important to make all this happen. And at the end of the day, what makes us different compared to other software vendors are you guys.
And I just had a CIO tell me that yesterday, so a fairly new customer of ours. And they had an issue come up, and you know what I always say to people that are evaluating technology is, it's technology. It's not a perfect science. You are going to have issues, but where we differentiate ourselves, like you said, is when those issues do arise, we are on them, we get them fixed as fast as possible, and allow our customers to continue to move along
Absolutely.
the way. And this CIO was basically telling me yesterday, Melissa, he's been CIO for decades. And he said, I have never
Are you saying he's old?
No. But he is seasoned and experienced, and he's had a lot of other interactions with a lot of other companies, technology companies. And he said to me, hands down, I have never had a company rally behind our company the way that Information Builders did.
That is awesome.
So we love to hear that, and that's really personally one of the reasons why I'm so proud to represent
Me too.
the company.
Me too.
Why we
And it's a
why
big
we
differentiator because you work for other software vendors. They're not like this, guys and gals.
They say they are,
Nah,
but when it
but
really
they're
comes
not.
down to it, they aren't.
They're
And that's
not.
something that it's our bread and butter. We live
And I have
and
worked
breathe
for
by
other
it.
software companies, as have you.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Hey, props to your entire team. A couple of weeks ago, we won an award, didn't we?
We did.
At the Midsize Enterprise Summit, Best Mid-Market Software Solution. And the reason I mention that isn't for the props of the award. Some of our customers that we've uncovered at the show are actually here at Summit.
And they're presenting their
which I think is
solutions.
huge.
Yes.
I think that is huge. Empire Airlines
Yeah.
is one of our customers that's going to be presenting, along with one of our partners that's been here for the first time, Scale Computing.
Mm-hmm.
And Swisher International is going to be presenting as well, who we've uncovered at a show, I guess about a year and a half ago, right, or so?
Doing amazing things.
And Swisher, if you're not aware, they make cigars. So, and they make a wide range of cigars, by the way. So they've got low end and they got some high end stuff as well. So Eric Toohey is their CIO. It's great to see that he's here as well. So So hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up for now. We're gonna come back after everybody's done. I hope they introduce Sundance.
I hope so too.
Because I think he
I
just
hope you
started
guys can
singing
hear him
before
too, 'cause
they.
he's amazing.
But he's going and singing right now. We're gonna pause it. We're gonna go inside. You're gonna see some great technology and people presenting. Stay tuned. We're gonna wrap it up at the end, and we're gonna hopefully have a little demo to show you with the Amazon Echo Dot that I'd love for you to watch. So thank you guys and gals. Keep watching.
Enjoy, guys.
Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Love is growing stronger as you become my habit to me, yeah. Well, I've been loving you little too long. Oh, I can't stop now. Oh, baby. Well, I've been loving you, loving you. Oh, I've been loving you, loving you. Oh, I've been loving you, babe. Loving you, babe. Oh, yeah. I've been loving you, babe. Loving you, babe. I've been loving you little too long. Down, I can't stop now. No, I can't stop now. No, I can't stop now. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for inviting me out here today. My name is Sundance Head, and I'm on my way to Nashville this week. We're playing the CMA Fest Thursday and then playing the Grand Ole Opry with Blake Shelton on Thursday night. I want to tell you a story. Every man ought to know. If you want little loving, you gotta start real slow. She's gonna love you tonight now. You just treat her right now. I'll squeeze her real gentle. Gotta make her feel good. Tell her that you love her like you know you should. Lord, if you don't treat her right now, she won't love you tonight now. I'll squeeze her real gentle. Hey, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. If you practice my method just as hard as you can now, you're gonna get a reputation as a loving man, yeah. You'll be glad every night that you treated her right. Hey, hey, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hey, yeah. Ooh. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Information Builders Summit Conference 2017. Please welcome to the stage Senior Vice President and CMO Michael Corcoran.
Little taste of Texas to start the day. What do you think of Sundance Head? Have a round of applause. I'm sure like a lot of you, I watch that program. I watch The Voice every season. I like to see people come from nowhere and get their starts. He was a big surprise. He played that Otis Redding song at his audition, and everybody was expecting a big country rock song to come out. And then each week he would surprise the judges by doing an Alicia Keys song or doing a Miley Cyrus song. He was appealing to the judges, and he won The Voice because he was just different from what people expected. And that's a lot of what people say about us in this industry. Information builders, you're a little bit different, right? You don't just have nice tools, you build applications. You think a little bit more solutions-oriented, but you're different, right? Difference okay, because difference in this room means that the folks in here are able to build the most scalable, the most widely used, the most impactful applications in the whole business intelligence and analytics industry. You do more creative things with data and get more value from that data than any of our competition's customers. And some of you have deployments. You've deployed more user IDs to our platform than all of the competitors in the industry have combined in terms of users. So there's something very right about being different sometimes, and that's okay. As an industry, we're moving into a very, very connected world. And for us, that didn't just start in the last couple of years. In 1991, we introduced the industry's first cross-platform data access technology. And we believed in distributed computing. We believed in a connected world many, many years ago. We were the first vendor to bring analytics as a technology into the web architecture in 1997, years ahead of the competition, because then we believed in a connected world then. Today, we still have that commitment. We still believe in that connected world. And today, you're going to see a lot of technologies that show how we leverage that connected world. Because it's not about the data, it's not about the science, it's not about the pretty pictures. It's really what we all do with it. And so, as individuals, you have an opportunity to improve your skill sets this week. As organizations, you have an opportunity to outpace your competition by the creative things you do with data and analytics. And so, let's all make the best of that opportunity. As an industry, there's a lot of activity. In the world of digital transformation, data and analytics is at the forefront. It's at the center of the entire journey. Although there's a lot of success, but there's a lot of room for improvement. This is an annual survey on data analytics that KPMG puts out, and it tells us that while every organization virtually is making heavy investments in data and analytics, only 19% are very satisfied with the value that they're getting from that. And that's a very common response we see when we go to all the industry conferences. People have a lot of work to do. You also see that 58% of the executives that answered this survey don't even trust their data. And that's become a bigger problem. Because in this connected world, there's a lot of vendors who don't connect very well. They connect to data, they take it down, they work in silos. They don't connect people to collaborate very well. They have people working in a disjointed fashion. And that adds to not only the data problems that we have in our databases, true data quality problems, or inconsistency problems we have from a master data challenge, but it adds a new level of discrepancy in how people interpret the analytics that comes out of that data, because they're working in separate silos. So I'm not sure why we tout great success for products that don't connect in a connected world. So I think they have a lot of work to do and a lot to learn. It's a lot more than putting pretty pictures on data. And the good news is, I think you're going to like the pretty pictures that we're going to show you in the new releases. Right? We put a lot of effort onto the user interface, the UX technology, probably our greatest R&D investment in years. So while people said, well, you guys do the hard stuff, you guys do the large deployment, you're just not as pretty. I think we're going to change that attitude. It was one of you in this room a few years ago in a meeting that we had, I think it was here at Summit, said to me, I think I'm going to bet on you guys becoming prettier before they become 20 times more scalable than they are and as deeply functional as Web Focus is. So I think we're going to live up to that challenge. It's not about the pretty pictures, it's about the data, right? The journey starts with data. So for the last 2 years, Gartner told us that the number one call they got was, should we look at Tableau or Qlik or Power BI? That was their number one call. You know the number one phone call they get today? These tools don't understand my real data issues, and I don't trust the data. So they've created this level of discrepancy, and we're here to solve it, because we look at the problem starting with data. So you're going to see some really, really nice new advancements in the iWay and Omni products that are going to make it easier and easier for you to ensure that you can deliver trusted data throughout your organization. And you're not only going to let IT manage that data, but you're going to let IT and business collaborate on that. So we've got some exciting new things to show you. Then we can put pretty pictures on trusted data. But that's where the journey ends for a lot of these products in the market, not for us. Because it's not about generating insights, it's about what you do with those insights. It's about deploying them. It's about turning those into applications that everybody could use to make decisions and gain insight from as well. Because if I have an organization of thousands of people, I don't want 22% to be the smart people with all the answers. I want everybody to have better insight. Right? And I think all of you understand that, which is why you're here. And you benefit from that every day. And then lastly, the ultimate goal, and if you go talk to your CEO or CIO or anybody in your organization today, it's about how do we actually monetize all of this. And I had an opportunity to speak at CIO, CAO, Chief Analytics Officer conferences, Chief Data Officer conferences, but the one that I was the most enthused about last year was I presented about monetizing big data to a CFO audience. Every member of the executive team cares about taking these assets, these investments we make in data and analytics, and getting real value from them. And that's what this journey is all about. It's not about the pretty pictures. It's about what we do with it. How does it change behavior in our company? How does it drive revenue? How does it cut costs? Right? So in addition to learning from the product folks and the experts and the technology, you have a great opportunity to learn from one another. Remember, half the sessions here are taught by you. You show your applications, you talk about your techniques, you help each other. Right? You're part of a connected world right here, and a connected network of people. Those of you that participate on Focal Point, I think we're up to over 10,000 now, you talk to each other all the time. You share ideas, you share challenges, and you share with one another. You share code, you share everything. So you're a big part of that. Thank you. I like that. Clap for that. That's a good one. And lastly, we show this chart every day. We show this chart in every presentation. This is the software stack. It continues to grow, and it continues to enhance. It continues to evolve with new innovations, and you'll see many new innovations at this conference. Actually, you'll see it in a few minutes on stage. Jerry will do his thing with his team, with the team to come up and show you all the advances we're making. And it's very, very exciting because we're gonna start to really exploit some of the most advanced technologies, AI, search, predictive, prescriptive. We're going to start to exploit all of those things in this new connected world that we live in. So lots of new technology, lots of opportunity for you to take new pieces of the stack home to your applications, home to your business, and make a real difference. We also have some of the best industry experts here, industry analysts, people that we rely on all year long to help with guidance, to bounce ideas off with, to critique us. Yeah, we love to critique sometimes, right? But it makes us a better vendor. We have great relationships with these folks, and in my opinion, this is the best of the best in the industry, and they're all here at Summit for you to mingle with and talk to. They're all giving presentation sessions over the next 2 days, and please take advantage of that, because it's like going to every industry analyst conference in one container, right? So you have an opportunity to go see what they're saying and where they feel the industry trends are headed. And I really do appreciate the relationships we have with all of these folks, and I want to thank them all for being here. Thank you, folks. Okay, so let's get the show started. You have a tremendous opportunity to learn this week. You're going to learn what we're doing. We're going to learn from you. You guys see about 100 sessions on the printed agendas. There's another 300 meetings behind the scenes. So I'll see you at the receptions at night, because I'll be in those behind-the-scene meetings mostly. But it's amazing what we learn. We bounce ideas with existing customers and with people who are just here to evaluate us for the first time. And there's many of you. So it's a very, very exciting week for us. A very exhausting week, very exciting week. But we're all going to walk out of here with not only better feel for new technology, but more importantly with better strategies and better ideas. And that's the connected world we live in. We learn from you, you learn from us, you learn from each other. Don't let anybody sit alone at lunch. If you came here alone, don't stay alone. Spend the time and the opportunity to learn from one another, to learn from your peers, to learn from the information builders people, to learn from the experts, and also from our partners. I saw a lot of you spending time with our partners in the environment last night, and you have the opportunity to keep talking to them today. They invested a lot of time and effort to be here. We are taking these partnerships very, very strongly and very significantly to market. And it's going to change and expand our footprint in that market, working with these key partners. So please work with them. We're going to be introducing them to you and your companies. A lot of you will ask us, what kind of database technology should we work with? Well, some of them are right here. So take advantage of the opportunity. We also have a lot of our service partners, consulting partners here, and they have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great track record with these products. So again, we're all connected. Partners, industry people, customers, hopefully soon to be customers, and the information builders team. So with that, I want to kick this show off and introduce our keynote speaker and team, Gerald Cohen, CEO and founder, Information Builder. There he is.
Hello, everybody. So early in the morning to see you all and the sunny faces here. Well, my job is to show you a lot of software. That's what it's all about. So I have an awful lot to show you. First, I just want to get rid of a couple preliminaries. Every year, from summit to summit, we go out and we try to get awards. And we get awards not only for ourselves, but for you. And so, for example, here's a series of awards. Let's see, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Each one of these went to a customer of ours for something superior in what they were doing. I don't know exactly which one went to who, but that's a lot of awards that we got, industry awards. And these are the awards that Information Builders got from summit to summit. If you notice, we got 3 Stevie Awards in 2017. Now, Stevie is the guy who gives out awards for things like best customer service. Now, that raises a question. If you notice, we only got the silver. Who got the gold? We don't know. So we have to do an investigation to find out who got the gold. Anyway, we've got all the other, I think we got 4 Stevies, as a matter of fact. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, in different subjects. It's nice to know that your vendor is winning awards, don't you think? A couple other things that we've been doing over the years is we have a very active user program. As a matter of fact, we have 100 chapters globally. How many of you have been to a user meeting? A local user meeting? Oh, that's not bad. Well, thank you for coming here also, I have to admit. We're always afraid that people who go to the user meetings don't come to Summit, for example. Anyway, we did about 115 meetings last year, 3,500 attendees. We also have virtual user groups, where we do it over the internet and lots of people come in and watch that. And that was 51 virtual meetings, which usually have some subject of interest. So we're making videos all the time, and we're showing it to everybody all the time. It's a useful activity is to have someone in the organization watching the user groups and seeing what they're presenting, I think. Now, focal point. I'm hoping that everybody in this room uses focal point. We now have about 10,000 signed up users. So those who are new, let me tell you what focal point is. It's an online community of users who will answer each other's questions. So if you have a question, something you want to know, you post it, and honestly, within seconds, somebody will answer your question. Or you will see that your question has been asked once before, and you'll see all the answers that that question got. So it's a very quick way of finding something out that you didn't know, okay? So if you go away from this conference with nothing else but learning that focal point is a great support idea for you, that would be enough, because it's a very, very valuable, useful thing that we're doing with focal point. A number of things this year, I'm going to go in sequence, partnerships, products, things like that. We have a couple new partnerships, something which we've never done before. So just to tell you what we're doing is we've made an arrangement with Avnet. Avnet, just recently, Avnet merged with Tech Data, so now it's actually called Tech Data, and they're one of the largest resellers of both computer machines and things like that, and also software. So Avnet is now representing us worldwide, and they have the complete right to sell all of our web-focused software, for example. So you may be running into Avnet, and I hope you do, because they're worldwide, and we're really counting on them to expand our sales dramatically. We have another partner. It turns out about 2 years ago, we worked with a hospital in Pennsylvania named St. Luke's Hospital. And they built such a successful system that was so profitable for them that they asked us, would we be interested in selling that system to other hospitals? And so we've made a partnership with St. Luke's as our experts in the field of medical hospital practice. And when we show you a demo, you're actually seeing what they actually implemented, for example. And there's going to be 2 sessions on medical hospital systems, and I really recommend that you go and see that. It's going to be very interesting. How many people here are from a medical background? Well, that's a fair number. Okay, well then this is for you. Lots of new products are released. Between summit to summit, lots of new products. One of them is what we're calling a what-if assist. Now, it's a pre-packaged set of charts to help you answer what are called what-if questions. So the chart actually moves around as you decide to change some numbers and gives you an answer. And so I can't show it to you. I'd rather you see it to see what it's all about. And this is also used inside of what's called prescriptive analytical applications. Now, as you know, there are 4 kinds of applications that we speak about. One is, what's the first one? Well, you tell me, what's the first one? Descriptive analytics, which tells you what's happening. Diagnostic analytics tells you why it happened. Predictive analytics tells you what might happen in the future, but the most important is prescriptive analytics, which tells you what to do about it. And so I'd like to bring out Porter Thorndike. Porter, you all probably know Porter. He's going to give you a demonstration of our new what-if analytics. Nice to have you.
Legend, Jerry Cohen, the legend.
Oh, Porter.
I'm inspired every day to come to work with you, sir.
That's what inspiration does. You get very
Let
tall.
me show you how we support what-if analysis in prescriptive analytics. The first demo is break-even analysis. This is part of a product portfolio we have called Comprehensive Goal-Based Visual Analytics. In break-even analysis, we'll look at things like fixed operating expenses, the variable cost to produce your products, the variable revenue received for the sale of those products, and it will tell you at what number of units sold you will break even. So for these, we're using comprehensive bottom-up methodology. That is superior to top-down methodology, which just says, what does my revenue need to be to achieve a certain profit? Comprehensive bottom-up methodology will take into account the practical limits of your root and calculated variables. will allow you to set goals, and it will tell you, are those goals realistic? And if they're not, what's the best that I can expect, and what relaxation of the root variables is necessary to achieve my goals. So you can do all sorts of what-if analysis with the root or calculated variables, and you can set goals. So if I want my break-even units to go from 9,000 to 4,000, could I accomplish that through an increase in the price alone? And if we look at the price, you could. I mean, boy, would we be gouging our customers, jacking it up to $32, but we could do it. Could I do it through a reduction in the cost alone? And this is where it will tell you if it's outside of the practical limits of your root variables. And there's all sorts of other what-if scenarios we can do, like what would happen if my operating expenses went from 90,000 to 110,000? What would happen to my bottom line? Naturally, our profit goes down, and our break-even units actually goes from 9,000 to 11,000. So what can I do to get it back to 9,000? Could I get it back to 9,000 through an adjustment to the price and the cost? And I could, just a modest increase in the price, modest reduction in the unit cost. I could get back to that goal. What if I want to go crazy, get really aggressive here? Can I get it to 5,000? Could I get it to 5,000 through a reduction in cost alone? It's going to tell us it's outside of the realistic and practical limits of that root variable. But I've got other options. There are other root variables at play that calculate break-even analysis. Like, what if I was able to reduce my fixed expenses, like selling expense, R&D, and overhead? Could a combination of those two get me to my goal of 5,000 units? And it could. You'd have to get your operating expenses down to 75,000 and really produce that product at a low cost, but you could get there. So we've got a variety and a suite of these products that will allow you to do this what-if analysis, and you can build them graphically in Info Assist. Jerry, do you like that?
I think it's great. And
do you guys like that?
Wait till you see all the other great graphs we have that allow you to do analytics right there on the graphs as they move around and help you decide what it's called, the what-if process.
They are amazing, Jerry, absolutely.
But Porter, let me ask you a question. What if I had a larger scale system? For example, I want to do some type of, this is all prescriptive analytics. It's telling you what could happen. How do I get to something? What if I had several products I wanted to do this?
Jerry, we have the perfect solution for that. As you know, many of you have challenges that may go beyond what these could solve. That could be data related, maybe predictive model related, interface related. What's better at solving those challenges than an info app, Jerry?
Well, let's see one.
Okay. So this info app is going to use prescriptive analytics, looking at price elasticity and price optimization to tell you exactly where you should price some key products of yours. And we're using an info app to do this. So prescriptive analytics is the holy grail of analytics. It builds on descriptive analytics, and you can think of that as the current report right here that is telling us 5 key products, where they're priced, and the historical sales. Predictive analytics will go further, and as you know, we have an RStat product that will graphically build a model using input variables of things like the historical sales, competitor price, product segment, customer segment, and will allow you to do great what-if analysis to see what the model will predict at different prices your sales will be. So let's do that. Let's run a simulation. What does the model think a slight increase in the prices of these products will do? I've got some graphs to help us understand this. The diamond is the actual, and the bar is the predicted. The model hates a price increase, predicting a decrease in units sold, and sales and margin. What does the model think about a slight decrease in the price of these products? And we can just mix and match, do any sort of combination with these sliders. The model loves a price decrease, okay? But I'm just kind of guessing here with the sliders. This is where prescriptive analytics can help. Prescriptive analytics will build on the model and the knowledge of the predictive model, which is typically just looking at structured data, categories and numbers. Many prescriptive models will add unstructured inputs like video, audio, images, text, and it will use the predictive modeling techniques that we build graphically with RStat and combine optimization techniques that could include machine learning, artificial intelligence, and natural language processing. And prescriptive analytics will tell me exactly where I should price those products and the optimized price. So if I click prescribe, we're going to run the prescriptive model, and we see exactly where we should price those products. And it's recommending between 87 to 94% of the original price. Modest price reduction is what gets our optimized number of units sold, sales, and margin. Jerry, do you like that also?
I think that's great. Now, you might ask the question, though, well, how do I predict what the volume will go up if I lower the prices? Well, companies are doing that all the time. You recognize when someone has a sale, they reduce their prices, and then they measure what the volume has been. So that's one way of doing that. I guarantee you, all of the airlines, when they started to increase prices, were worried also about what the competitive airlines were doing. This all can be modeled and be put into some kind of predictive model, for example, that people can manipulate and get great ideas out of. And something that you can do, it's all the technologies right there. This is just an info app, right?
That's right, Jerry.
But the numbers underneath is an RStat prediction. So when he changes price, it says, well, here's what I think the volume would be with perhaps other variables. You see, so it's a can be a very realistic way of simulating a whole process. Thank you, Porter.
You're welcome, Jerry.
A number of other new products we have. We have something called the Enterprise Usage Monitor for WebFocus. It's a real-time, in real time, it allows IT to see how all the WebFocus servers are doing in your organization and if there's any bottlenecks or any problems. For example, many of you have lots and lots of focus applications. In many cases, you want to make sure that those applications that are functioning continually. I mean, we've had any number of customers who have showed us large number of servers all over the world, as a matter of fact, in many languages. And the question is, I want to make sure there's no bottlenecks, no problems arising, or I want to catch it earlier. How many of you have large numbers of servers that you're worried about potentially if they're operating properly? Well, this is designed for that, the few of you who have that. It's a very useful process. If you want to run, 7 by 24 and never go down, this is one of the things that you need. Narrative charts. Last year we actually showed you the narrative charts, but we did so much new stuff that just want to mention that there's a lot of new things we put into narrative charts. Remember, narrative charts takes a graph and describes what's inside the graph. So we've added lots and lots of features to that, and we can probably show you that also. And finally, we've settled on what the IBI cloud should look like. And so just want to mention one aspect of our cloud, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail, but it's a software as a service, which means when you come to our cloud, WebFocus is on it. You do not buy WebFocus, it's just there. Just like Salesforce.com, when you come to Salesforce, it's already, the software's there. Same thing with our cloud. So let's see, Mark Nesson. You want to come up? And everybody here knows Mark Nesson, right? Mark's the inventor of the Enterprise Usage Monitor, so who better to demonstrate it?
Thank you, Jerry. And welcome everybody here to Summit 2017. It's a pleasure to see everybody here and interested in learning. Today I'm going to demo the Enterprise Usage Monitor for WebFocus. How many people would like to be able to tell how many users are coming into your environment? What type of response times are they achieving? What is the minimum response time, the average, the maximum response time? How would you like to see what's going on with your system in general? What type of database time are they using? Or what adapters for WebFocus are you consuming and using in your environment? So let me log in here to WebFocus Enterprise Usage Monitor. Put my glasses on. So it's going to log in, and we're going to go in to the Enterprise Usage Monitor, and you'll see that you getting started goes right into the Usage Monitor screen, and you'll have videos there to learn about and how to use it. Imagine going in here, and we're going to see on our portal different tabs, one for static and one for dynamic. This is for real-time analyzation of your WebFocus system. So you can get real-time information and also history information. What if you wanted to see how your performance was last month on a Monday and what it's going to be this month on a Monday? What if you want to add new applications to your WebFocus environment and say, what is my performance going to be? Because today everybody cares about the big P, performance, performance, performance. They want to see what it is. So when you come into the Enterprise Usage Monitor, you're going to see metrics by user. Imagine sitting back and looking at this information and say, oh my God, I can see what users are coming in. Who's consuming the most database time and how many seconds? How many reports by ID? Who's using the CPU? The duration of the request, how long they're running. Server time. Look at the chart here, performance by date. The ability to analyze and see if you're using server time and or database time. Everybody's looking for this information today. They call me and say, Mark, I'm looking for a user coming in, and can you tell me his response time? You also have all slice and dice data on the side. The ability to go against multiple servers, as Jerry mentioned. You could go against one server or clustered servers to see what the performance is on those servers. The ability to delineate by service in your environment. If you're running a report caster service, or the default service, or a service for different areas or applications, you can delineate the performance that granular. Let's look at the second metrics that we have available here. And this is response times by date. Imagine coming in and say, okay, these are my users coming in. Right off the bat, I can see what's going on. Let's say we want to see user 1, 2, and user 4. We can actually see how many reports they ran, the CPU time, the database time, the average response time. This is the best thing you can have. Users are going to call up and say, I'm getting great response time, or it may seem a little slow. You can look to the monitor and say, oh, I want to look at user 4 and see what response time he's seeing. The average response time, and again, the maximum response time. The ability to go by date and hour to see what the performance is. So imagine this dashboard up and running 24/7, and you're just sitting back looking at what's going on in your environment. Also the ability to send alerts. If the performance expectations go above a certain amount, you can send an email to one or to many people. This one here, the average response time dashboard. It actually goes in and shows you the average response time based on user ID, who's ever coming in, and the average response time on the bottom. Not only that, this is a 360-degree view of your environment. This is monitoring the mid-tier. This is what you've been asking me for years. Mark, I need to be able to see the Java piece. What is the Java piece doing? What is the CPU utilization, the time it's spending? And over here, we provide 50 reports out of the box. And by the way, this went production May 31st. It's available from the download site. So it's not coming off my desk anymore. It's coming from official release. And I want to go over here, and I want to show you some of the reports. What if you could tell the user when somebody complains the response time is slow? Would you be able to like to see who that user is? Would you like to see what the adapters they're using? Let me show you what we have here as a finale. We're going to go here, and we're going to run a top 10 report. Notice that user 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 are here. Let's click on user 5. We're going to drill down to the start date for user 5. We're showing the start date. We're going to go to the start hour. From the start hour, we're going to go to the minute. How about from this minute right here, 36, the minute 36, drill down to the procedure name that was run. The ability to go here and see what suffix it was using. What do you think of that? Right?
Wow.
What about here, now for the topper, the ability to look at this and now find the procedure that was run. So if you guys that are debugging things today taking hours or days, you'll now be able to do it in minutes.
Hey. Wow. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
You know, this is from the hit. Mark's the guy when you call up and say, you know, I have some things, it's a little bit slow, things have slowed down or something happened. He's the guy who we send out to fix it, for example. So these are the tools that he's using. So you'll be, I guess this is for your IT departments. When the IT department say, you know, WebFocus is slowing down or something, we got to send somebody out who could really analyze it. So these devices that we have can analyze everything and tell you exactly how your systems are running. If you want non-stop operation, for example, you need tools like this to predict in advance what possibly could happen. It's the only way you could have absolutely non-stop operation, which is what many of you do require. Oh, I got ahead of myself. Okay, now I did mention that we have the new IBI Cloud, and rather than me talk about it, I'd rather you see Dan Rodolani. You all know Dan. Dan is going to show you and talk to you about the cloud. Come on up here, Dan, and I think your slides are on here already. So if you meet Dan in the hallways, or he has 2 sessions, for example, he's the guy to talk to about what we're doing in the cloud.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and it's great to see everybody. Is my microphone on? Check 1, 2.
I guess.
Okay.
Louder.
Is my microphone on?
Emergency repairs. How many of you are using cloud services? Give me an idea. Just raise your hand.
Okay, much better.
Okay. How many of you are planning to use cloud services? Oh, that's
Okay,
a big
that's good.
difference. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, you know, sometimes your server needs a failover, and sometimes your microphone needs a failover too, I guess. So thank you, Jerry, for the time today. I just wanted to provide a quick update on our new cloud offering, which we just rolled out in January. And we really feel that it's unique in the marketplace. Our offering includes the full WebFocus platform, all the features. In addition to that, we include all the managed hosting cloud services. So you only have to work with information builders as your single vendor for all of your business requirements, as well as customer support through our worldwide customer services. It's very important in the cloud that we offer a fully locked down, secured environment. This is your cloud image. These are your cloud images with your data fully secured. We also have a series of very rigid security practices, which involve penetration testing, intrusion detection, so that the environment is completely hardened. So you remember a couple of weeks ago with that big ransomware attack, where thousands of computers were affected. Our cloud was impervious to those attacks, and not one of our cloud customers was impacted by that. We really pay attention to this. It's very important. We also provide upgrade services for your WebFocus releases. We'll automatically provide maintenance for you, and of course collaborate with you to install the latest and upgrade the latest versions of WebFocus. Data residency, very important. How many people in the audience are from outside of the United States? Okay, fair number. In the EU, Canada, Latin America, there are very strict data privacy, data residency rules. When you deploy a cloud server, it has to be in that country, and you have to guarantee that the data will never leave that country. And so we have data centers all over the world, and we can provision these environments globally right from our cloud support center in Mark Nessen's team in New York. So another key advantage of our cloud offering. And of course, we offer all the industry certifications and compliance for HIPAA, PCI, ISO, and we're working on our FedRAMP certification for later this year for our federal customers and for customers who do business with the federal government. And as I mentioned, single source for support, whether it's a cloud question or issue that you have or web focus, you just come to our worldwide customer support organization. We also offer our integrity and integration solutions for iWay in the cloud, so we can really have our entire stack hosted for you. And we'll talk more about that in the live session. We have very flexible provisioning options for you. If you want, you can have all your data and web focus living in the cloud. This is excellent for new development where you need to provision an environment, get up and running quickly, or maybe prototype a solution, and you can connect directly into the cloud from your standard App Studio environments or come in through our web-based development tools. We also have what we call the hybrid cloud, in which web focus can run in the cloud, but your data can be on-premise. Now, a very nice use case for this, it has some advantages that I list here where we're just accessing the data in place, no need to ETL the data up to the cloud. But think about this. Somebody asked me last night, they said at the reception after all the sessions yesterday, said, hey, Dan, we love all this new 8.2 technology, but we just upgraded to 8.1 this year. We're not really planning to do another upgrade till next year. Well, think about this. You could keep your 8.1 environments on premise. You could have web focus 8.2 in the cloud connecting to your data on premise. So you could take advantage of all the new capabilities that you're seeing in Summit, not 6 months from now, but immediately. What do you think about that? Is that a use case that people might use? Cool. We also offer what we call the federated hybrid option. And in that case, all the mid-tier components of web focus are installed in the cloud, the portal, Info Assist, your Info app, user interfaces, the web focus repository. But the data and the web focus reporting server live on premise. And the advantage there, as many of you know, the web focus reporting server, very powerful processing engine for doing aggregations, joins, all the calculation work and processing. And then what we return back to the cloud is only that minimal answer set that you need. So if you have to sum sales by region across 5 years, you won't have to send all that data across the wire. We just give you the answer set.
Dan, let me ask you a question.
Sure, Jerry.
Are you saying that I could have a server, web focus server, in my own data center communicating to the cloud so I don't have to change any of my security requirements, for example?
Jerry, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Therefore, you can get started much faster. You see, one of the problems is if you turn your data, let's say you're using LDAP in-house, and you want to go up to the cloud. Well, you got to redo your entire LDAP because that's part of your general IT establishment. But you can leave that in place if you use an environment like this, because our server that's on your premises is using your LDAP. So you have a time period where you can start to migrate slowly. And in fact, you're going to have one more, I believe.
That's right. Thank you for pointing that out, Jerry. And in fact, we had a customer with that exact configuration right before we left here to come to Summit, where they needed to authenticate to their local LDAP and bring the users into the cloud. Final configuration here that provisioning option I'd like to mention is the second federated hybrid cloud, which allows you to have full web focus with data running in the cloud and the web focus reporting server running with data on premise. And what this lets you do is to migrate to the cloud in a phased approach. You might not want to move all the data at once. You may have some applications that need to be on premise and in the cloud, and we offer that for you. And so we urge you to take advantage of all these capabilities and consider our Information Builders Cloud as you move forward. I also would like to mention that we're not limited to just our cloud. We are partners with the industry leaders in the cloud marketplace, AWS, IBM Bluemix, Microsoft Azure, and an upstart called OROC is a specialty vendor. And so if your company has chosen one of these vendors as your cloud of choice, we work fine and we're certified in all these environments, okay? So what we saw was, just to summarize, we have our Information Builders Cloud, which is an all-in, all-inclusive web focus and all your cloud managed services for you. We also run iWay in the cloud. We have all these flexible provisioning options, and of course we have our partnerships. I urge you, if you want to learn more information, come to my session on Thursday. You like the name, Jerry? It's called Every Cloud Has a Silver Lining. I like that.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Very
we hope to see you.
Poetic.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Well, I like that. I'm going to have to use that cloud. Okay, hey, there are more new features in Release 8.2. In fact, there are 227 new features in 8.22, divided up into all kinds of areas. Info Assist, a lot of Info Assist, 42, a lot of reporting kinds of things. Big data, data and big data, we're always doing. I think we've covered every Hadoop scenario now, so whatever Hadoop vendor you're using, Cloudera or Hortonworks or MapR or you name it, we've got the interfaces to work on those Hadoop systems. So how many people here have a Hadoop operation operating in their organization? A few. I would say 5%. How many are planning to have more of a Hadoop operation? About 3%. Okay. One of the interesting things that, let me just point out some of the significant features that are coming along. I think this one is one you're really going to enjoy. We've adopted what's called Evergreen IT. What that means is that starting with release 8.2, all prior releases in the 8 series, 8.0, 8.1, and there's, remember 8.0 went from 8.01 to 8.0.11, for example. So there's 11 versions in just 8.0. 8.1, there's 8.12, 8.13, 1.4, 1.5, for example, M, which takes about 5 releases. So whatever you have, when you put in 8.2, we will automatically take your older release, automatically convert it in a utility we have so it runs on the latest version. So in other words, we're running in one machine all the different versions of web focus you might have without any changes. So you no longer have to do a whole lot of work just to put in a new release. It's what we're calling evergreens. How do you like that? I thought that. Okay. That's going to save people an awful lot of time and money, I think. Just that one feature, this upward compatibility, for example. Another feature, I think, we made an error in some ways when we started out with Esri. I think Esri is the finest mapping service anywhere. It has practically every feature we've ever wanted, but there was one feature that was missing, which we didn't appreciate. In the United States, for example, you can drill down in Esri to zip codes, 5-digit zip codes. I think you could actually do more, but at least it's 5-digit zip codes. Turns out, outside the United States, you cannot drill down very far in Esri. They didn't map the rest of the world. Any of you have discovered that? Yeah, it's annoying, right? You try to drill down and suddenly you can't get down. Turns out there's a separate vendor who made it his business to drill down in at least 58 countries, and we made a deal with him, and we bought his system. So for 58 other countries, we will drill down to the lowest level. But for 117 more, that means the whole world practically, this guy has a small price and you can buy the extra upgrade from him, for example. So your mapping now can go down as low a level as you want. How many people have found that out? Or did I discover a feature that no one wants? I can't believe it. No, I think it's a useful thing because, you know, we do all the testing in the United States, but we never really went and said, let's do the testing as if we're in England. And then we would have seen it, you see? So we had no idea that these overlays, remember the mapping systems we have are overlay systems, so you could have multiple overlays on top of each other. In fact, you don't even have to look at zip codes. You could look at who voted Democratic and Republican. You could vote who was looking at which television set. You can see the little squares on the map of every kinds of imaginable breakdown that you are interested in, for example. But we never thought that the zip codes didn't go far enough. Another thing that we're adding in this release, 802, is for do-it-yourself users. Do we have any do-it-yourself users here? Raise your hand. I want to see the do-it-yourself guys. Okay, there's some do-it-yourself users. In the do-it-yourself world, you create a lot of content, and what you really want to do is paste it up on something, and what we call that is a page designer. You want to paste it up to a page designer very easily and create sophisticated panels of sort of dashboards or even portals, for example. So we've come up with a brand new page designer, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a few minutes. It's for the do-it-yourself guy. So the do-it-yourself who gets their own graphs, their own reports, now has a do-it-yourself paste up for a dashboard kind of environment. They can do that themselves also. And I think I'm going to call this the piece de resistance, which is one of the features I'm saving for last, which is called Info Search. It's a very powerful new addition to our Magnify search engine. Remember, we were one of the first people to put a search engine inside of WebFocus, inside of a BI product. And we did it many years ago, as a matter of fact. So this is an important upgrade. It will enable the building of a new class of applications using what's called cognitive search techniques. In other words, we're not putting into this search engine just data. That's easy, for example. We're putting in all of the artifacts, all the folk execs, all the stuff that you create to do graphs and reports and applications are in the search engine. When you ask for something, which you can just ask for, as you'll see, we search our search engine. Oh, hey, here's the 3 reports that would answer your query. And it just comes up. You see that? That's cognitive type of processing under the covers that's going on. Well, let's ask Kevin Quinn to come up and show us these 2 features.
Is my microphone on? I didn't hear my sound on my laptop. Let me start that again. That way I know it's actually working. I'm going to log in here, and you're going to see 2 demonstrations. We're going to see first how easy it is that we're making it for people to be able to build info apps, business users to build info apps on the web.
Hi, Kevin. How can I help you today?
Oh, very nice.
That was Maggie, which is short for Magnify. And
yeah.
We're going to do that. We'll do that demo second.
Okay.
First thing I'm going to show you is the new front end for WebFocus. When you come into WebFocus, and this is going to be in an 8.2 release later this summer, you have a brand new look to the home page when you come into WebFocus, which is thumbnail based, so you can kind of see the content as you're developing it. So you can see the repository tree. I happen to be on a particular folder, and you can see the things that are in that folder, and you can run them from there. You can search in there. We're going to do a complete demonstration of this in the roadmap, which is actually right after this session at 10:15. So if you want to see real detailed demonstrations of all the things I'm going to show here, I'll be doing that in the roadmap at 10:15. So what I'm going to do, start off, Jerry, is I want to build a page.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, I'm going to go into the new page designer. And the page designer can let you start with a blank canvas, you can see that on the bottom, or you can start with a template. It assumes that everything that you want to make you want to make responsive so that it'll run well on a desktop, on a tablet, or even on a phone. So I'm going to pick a template that's already out there. I point out, I said this before, this is a web-based tool, so it's a companion to InfoAssist, so you can actually build now an info app from end to end entirely on the web. It also will be launched from App Studio as a companion tool there as well. So I have my page started with that template. So it has these panels that are on the screen. I like to use one of Jerry's favorite features of the product, which is multi-content containers. So these are the containers that you have, and I'm going to drag the tab container here to replace the one that was there, and a slider container here to allow me to put multiple things in the same spot. And I'm actually going to make it so that the end user can customize the page themselves. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have the panels that I'm on here, and I'm going to switch over to the content that I have. So I have content in folders here, and I'm going to go to my sales content, and I'm going to take the content that I have and drag them onto the page. There's one, here's my regional profit, and my regional sales trend. So very quickly, I've designed a responsive page just by dragging content onto there. Now, you may notice that one of the things that happened is on the top here, there's a little badge that came up and says 5. What that means is that there's 5 unresolved variables there. And if I click it, it creates a filter panel right on the page for me. So now I can take a look at my filter panel and customize that. For example, I like the way it is here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the date range here. These are 2 separate from 2 dates, but I actually have a control which I'm going to combine those 2 into a single date range control. So you see I also have controls, so now it's actually one single control. This one here, the type is a filter for whether it's store or web-based sale, and there's only 3 things in that thing. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to say I want to convert this one, and these are all the controls that I have to convert to. I'm going to make this a button set. And now I actually have that. Now that's a collapsible area. You see that I can actually, by default, it makes it a collapsible area. Now the other thing that I want to do is I want to customize this page a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my properties. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to my properties. So you have a property panel on the right as well. And I want to change the theme that I'm using to the IBI 2017 theme. It gives me a little bit more space on there and changes the look and feel a little bit. I'm going to go to the containers now. So these are the containers, and you can style them very nicely. I'm going to click these 2 containers, and I'm going to go to the settings for that container. And what I want to do is I want to unlock them. When I unlock them, that means I'm going to make it so that the end user, when they get this dashboard, they can customize it. They can put new things into those containers. So I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to tell them where they can find content. So I'm going to go to the demo that I'm on, and I'm going to point to the content folder. So that means that they're going to get a thumbnail view of the content folder that they can put those things onto the page when they actually are using it. I also want to flatten the list because there's subfolders there and show it in grouped categories. You'll see what I mean when I actually run that. So I've done everything that I want for this particular page, and what I have here is a preview button. So if I click the preview button, it gets rid of everything, and now I've got a full running filtered dashboard that I built in just a couple minutes. So as the user, of course, I can use my controls here to filter out the page. I have a date range control here where I can kind of switch back to the beginning of the year, slide out to that date to filter it by a certain date range. If I'm an end user and I want to customize this, I can go here and click the unlock button to allow me to add content. So if I click the plus sign here, here's all the content. So what do I want to put on that tab that's there? I want to get rid of these things. I'm looking at these sales things. Perhaps I want to put that chart there. So I actually now have 2 things in the same space, and as an end user, I've customized my page. Alternatively, in the slider control here, I can do the same thing. I can take a look at which things I want to put on there, and perhaps I want to add this tree map to that section. So now I actually have a slider control that will switch between those 2 charts. In just a couple minutes, I made a very advanced, and also, let me actually just show you, responsive web page. So as I reorganize it, all of the things, you'll notice that even the prompts and the content change and reformat. So this would be perfectly usable on a mobile phone or a tablet. And I just built that in just a couple minutes. So that's the way that we're making it so that you can build info apps entirely on the web in the easiest possible way. What do you think, Jerry?
Wow, I think that's great. You see, the difference is, previously, most of this had to be built in App Studio, which is a desktop tool. Now, when Kevin's talking about building it on the web, you could be, you know, on vacation on the beach, and you could be designing these kind of things.
That's what I intend to do.
now.
When I go on vacation, that's what I'm going to do. All right,
so now, just one other thing. You notice that Kevin put multiple objects in the same spot. We call that a multi-content container. You have no idea how much money that saves you. Think about systems that you've had, dashboard-type systems, and someone comes along and says, well, I never use this graph or this report. Can you give me another one? So you make another one, and then eventually someone else has an idea for another one. What happens over time is these systems go out of date. The value of the multi-content container is the developer can just put the content up, the user can drag it onto their dashboard, and it automatically updates it, you see. You see what I mean? In other words, a multi-content container says, look, you can leave what's there, and you can put something else in that same container. So these systems have a much longer life, much easier to maintain, for example, because somebody creates it, the user just drags it wherever they want it, you see. So it saves you a ton of money in maintenance of these dashboarding kinds of systems. Okay, Kevin,
I have more.
now you got the next thing you're going to show us.
And there's more, yes. So I'm going to sign in here again so you can hear Maggie.
Hi, Kevin. How can I help you today?
All right, so what Jerry mentioned before about the info search is that we are, it's an extension of Magnify. We are now indexing three things. We're indexing the content that you create, we're indexing your metadata, and we're indexing your key data elements. What's the things that you care the most about that you research? Is it your customers, the account name? Is it the contacts at your customers? Is it products? Is it stores? Is it regions? You pick the things that you want to index, and we'll index the data. And so there's some very, very unique things that you get out of that. One, we can help the end user formulate an analytical question just either by typing it or saying it. We can find any content just by saying its name. Show me the top 10 report as an example. We can also, just by you mentioning a data element, if I said something like, what can you tell me about Jerry Cohen? It would know, okay, Jerry Cohen, that's indexed. He's an employee in this database, and here are all the reports that will tell you more about him. It's one of the easiest ways to be able to find content. And also, the last thing that it does is that it prevents duplication of effort too. So if you've built dashboards that reference revenue and products and so on, you can simply look for all reports that reference revenue and product and get them, so you don't have to create them over again. That's always one of the biggest challenges with these self-service tools. So let me just show you a couple of the things we can do here. I'm going to ask an analytical question here. Now this could be done, I'm doing it on a desktop, not the most common place that you use voice, but obviously this will be working for mobile devices as well. Top revenue by category.
Top revenue by product category.
So what we just did there, by the way, was an analytical question. I asked an analytical question, it knew revenue, it knew category, it knew what that was already, and it generated a chart for me which I can modify. It also gave me some insights. If you look on the right side of the screen there, it said, you mentioned revenue. You might also want to know, this is the total revenue in that system. Here's the minimum, the maximum, and the average. And it shows me a 12-month spark line chart that shows me more about what the revenue was in the last 12 months. But also notice there's some written text there. That's a new narrative that we actually have, the narrative BI that we have in WebFocus that's out in 8.2. I could actually ask it, if I click this, to read it to me and tell me what more I can find out about product revenue.
Stereo systems had the highest revenue at 291.3 M. The data represents the revenue within the product category range of accessories. Video production, the revenue fluctuated, oscillating between 58 million, 53.
I won't make you have to listen through the whole thing, but basically gave me insights that it thought that I might want to know since I asked about revenue. Alternatively, you can go back here, and I mentioned the idea of being able to type. So if I just click in that box and I'm on my desktop, it's starting to show me what types of analytical questions I might want to ask. So I'm interested in doing the relationship between two measures. So I relationship, and notice that it pops up on the screen. If you're going to do relationship in this domain that you're currently in, these are fields that I currently know, measures. So I want to look at cost, cost of goods, and revenue. Oh, there's revenue. I want to do it by, there's a by there. Model, there's model. I just started to type it, and it knew exactly, it had the type ahead index to show me the things. And again, since I asked for cost of goods and revenue, it gave me some additional information that I might be interested in. And I'm actually in the tool right now where I can actually modify this. For example, if I wanted to take a look at this colors by product category, I have a little type ahead, so I click on color, and I can color the chart by product category, and it updates that. I can change the size, and I'm actually in a tool which we'll talk more about in the roadmap. So that's one of the really powerful things that the tool does, is it allows you to create analytical questions, create content, modify it in this nice, easy-to-use tool, which, by the way, is touch-friendly. So this tool that you're seeing on the screen works perfectly fine on an iPad, so I can build visualizations on an iPad as an example. All right, so let me drop out of this, and now I'm going to go to BI assets. This is the most common types of things that you do with your data. If you're doing research, you're not thinking of your metadata, you're thinking of the data elements that mean something to you. So for example, if I was a product manager or a brand manager at this consumer electronics company, I might want to find out how the brands that I sell are compared to each other. Where do I make most of my money? So before you were doing the prescriptive analytics, that was one of the 4 types of questions that people ask. What happened? Why did it happen? What's going to happen next? And what's the best that can happen? Most common question is not any of those. The most common question that people use with BI is, what can you tell me about? So for example, what can you tell me about Panasonic and Sony?
What can you tell me about Panasonic and Sony?
And as quick as that, every report that will reference Panasonic or Sony, or will give me the input of Panasonic and Sony, is put up on the screen. So here's a pie chart. And you notice, by the way, the stars, that it gives you the ratings of each of these contents. I can click it, and there's Panasonic and Sony, what I said, and it shows me a pie chart that compares the two side by side. I also have one here, which is a brand comparison chart, and if I click that, it shows me every model that's sold for Panasonic and every model that's sold for Sony. We sell a lot more Sony products than we do the other products. So other things that I might want to do, I might want to find about the stores. I have stores across the United States, so if I was a store manager and I might want to take a look at them, I can clear out my query here and say, what can you tell me about Detroit and Tampa and Jacksonville?
What can you tell me about Detroit and Tampa and Jacksonville?
Here's all the assets that I have simply by saying those things, and it's going to let me take a comparison of those two. So I can click and provide one of the things, or I can click and provide all of the things. So it compares Detroit and Jacksonville and Tampa side by side on the labor metrics, how much money they spend on labor. I can take a look at it, a line chart, and compare, can see how they look and compare over time. I might want to take a look. One of the other things I want to point out is this content is coming from the sales domain, but the other thing is that the content can be coming from other places. It knows Detroit and Tampa and Jacksonville are not only in this domain, so it's showing me other stuff. So for example, this one is population change. And if I click on that, it actually shows me a comparison of how these cities are changing from a population standpoint. So one of the most powerful things you can do is to be able to find BI content simply by referencing the data.
Now, if there was AMPR variables in the folk exec, you'd be prompted for it.
Yeah, you can then go back and what we call refine. You can bring up all the variables that are available if you wanted to refine it, put a date range in there, or change it as well. Yes, that is correct. So what do you think of the new search capability built into WebFocus?
Well, thank you very much, Kevin. Let me give you another little...
Thanks.
Hello. How do we build an info app? Well, you build a lot of content. You know, we call them in our terminology folk execs. You create a lot of folk execs. Then eventually you paste them up in some logical way into some visual. But supposing you create the content and you don't bother to paste it up. Just leave the content there and use this methodology to ask questions and see if it answers the questions that you're asking. So you know if your content is full enough, is it accurate enough. Remember, what's nice about this is not natural language search. Problem with natural language search is you can make an error, that is, you get the wrong answer. Because it's very difficult for natural language to figure out, for example, whether you meant an and or an or. You know, if I say, tell me about oranges and apples, but not about peaches, is that but not about, or not about, or and not about? You see what I mean? There's a lot of complexities. Doing this, we're only executing the focus X that you have already created that you know are accurate. Do you see? That's why it's what we call a cognitive search, because you've already designed the outputs that you wanted. And we're just picking them, which ones you're sort of requesting. So it's another way of testing out an info app without even building any overarching structure for it. You see, just to see if you've covered all the content. Everybody get that idea? Okay, and there's a lot more features here than Kevin was able to show you. So it has a very interesting future of doing it in this new way of designing input, output for people to be able to query very quickly. Did you like it? Okay, thank you. Now I forgot, remember, the process starts with your data. Now normally I was asked, why don't I start by talking about the new things we're doing in iWay, but I thought I liked this last demo so much I wanted to show you quicker what it was. However, we're doing a lot of new things in iWay, and there are a lot of new products and new Omni products. An Omni product is just a version of iWay software that has a slightly different design paradigm. And so where's Don Bauer? Don? Okay, you want to talk to us about what's happening in the iWay world, Don?
Okay, good morning. So what I'm going to demonstrate, I have a data set that's basically has some customer demographic information in it, the usual stuff. What I'm going to do is talk about two main features of the workbench. And again, the workbench is really geared for allowing the people that know the data the best, the business users, the non-IT technical folks to be able to collaborate in an overall data cleansing initiative. So there's two main components.
Don, could I interrupt for a second? I was going to introduce you with this, so let me say it because I forgot to say it.
Okay.
One of the things Don's going to show you is what we call the data quality workbench. This is the first that I think I've ever seen where it lets the users themselves put their own rules in the quality management. So you don't have to go to your IT department and say, hey, we got some errors, we'd like to change some of the rules. You could do that yourself. Your users who run the systems in their departments, for example, when they see an error, can correct it themselves. Okay, so that's the virtue of this. I don't think I've ever seen a do-it-yourself rule-based system that people do themselves. Sorry, Tom.
No problem. No problem. Very well said. So we're in the data quality workbench, and the very first thing you see is immediately a profile. So no longer waiting for a program to be run to profile the data. When you log in, it's right there. And you can see we have customer demographic information. I can see an overall data set completeness. I can see the population, and I can see I'm about 83% complete overall. But I also get that same information at the attribute level. So what I'm going to do, what's even more interesting over here, is I'm going to go ahead and click on these attributes. And you can see as I do so, I get distinct information. There's 117 countries. And I can start to see the most frequent values, the less frequent values. And as I start to look at them, you can see that we have Canada described different ways. It's even misspelled. So there's some opportunities for not only standardization, but also for cleansing that data. So definitely country is something I want to be able to cleanse. If I go down to the gender, for example, you can see I have 7 distinct genders. And when I look at the frequent data, in this case, it's really a standardization issue. I don't see a spelling issue, but I definitely see male represented 3 different ways and female the same. So what I want to be able to do now is move from the profiling. Again, the profiling gives me that data insight. It lets me see opportunities for standardization, cleansing, and even enrichment. We can do address cleansing, add the +4 to the zip code, so it really gives you that insight immediately. The data grid is where you actually see the data, and you can start to click on it and cleanse it. So let's do just that. I'm going to just give myself a little bit more room here. And in looking at the social security number, you can see that it's not standardized and that I would like to put dashes in it. And what's great about this as well is I have, if I click on it, I have profiling information right there as I'm looking at the data. And we've seen the frequently used data. If we look at the patterns, now you can start to see that I have really invalid data. I have very short social security numbers. I don't really want that. So what I'd like to do is actually null those values out. So social security number is something I want to be able to cleanse. Over here at the right, if I click on this, I simply will add a rule. Now, rules can have multiple operations. We package a lot of operations directly with the product, but the great thing about this as well is that you can actually roll your own. We provide an SDK where you can build your own components and make them available immediately to the dashboard. So I'm going to click, and down here you can see we have country, email, phone, social security number. We package these for you so you don't have to write them. And up at the top, I have a choice of format. So I'm going to choose that dash for the social security number. And then I have this little box where I can choose to remove the invalid values. In addition, there are tags. And I'm not going to tell you about that because I want you to come to my roadmap session today and see that. But tags allow you to have lineage in terms of how the data was cleansed and also to be able to tag it for analysis purposes. So now that I've chosen this, I'm going to go ahead and add that rule and save it. And now I can start to work with other attributes. So let's click on the country. And again, I can come up here and see frequent data. And let's go over here. That's the patterns. Here's the actual data. And again, invalid values. I want to cleanse that. So I'm going to come up here and simply add a rule. And in the add operation, I'm going to choose add country. So again, this is like an external rule that's built that you can take advantage of. I'm going to save that. And now we're going to move on to gender. So gender, I'm actually going to insert my own rule as a user. I'm not going to use something templated. I'm going to basically go in and replace them myself because I know what the values are. So I'm going to add an operation. And this time I'm going to click on this little attribute or this icon, and I'm going to come down here to replace values. And I know that there are basically 4 replacements I want to make. I'm going to click on this and basically add 4 rows. So let's go up. Remember we had male spelled in capitals. I'm just going to tab over and make that an M. I have male represented in mixed case. And I have female the same. So let's go uppercase female. And let's go back and mixed case female. So that's an example. As a user, I just see I need to be able to replace values. You can do that with any kind of thing if you want to do blacklist and whitelist. So I'm going to essentially replace that, and I'm going to save that rule. And now I'm ready to execute it. So again, I can play what-if type scenarios with the data. But this tool, unlike data prep tools, I'm actually going directly to the full set of data. So I'm going to be sending my requests off to the server. I'm not working in a sandbox where I just play with the data. I can collaborate directly into the overall initiative. So I'm going to execute the rules, and you can see I have 3. I'm going to go ahead and choose execute. Now that's going to fire off in the background, which lets me go up and do other things. So I can look at more attributes, more cleansing while that's running up to the server in the background. And again, let's just summarize what we've done. So I've taken the SSN, I'm going to put dashes in there, I'm going to remove the invalid values, I'm going to go over to country, remove those invalid values, and gender, I've got my replacements. So I'm notified that that's been complete. And now another great feature is I can actually click on this SSN column, and you'll notice I can compare to original. So we actually keep the before and after. And if I click on SSN again, I'll go up here to this drop down. And if I look at the frequency and I look at the patterns, here you can see I've removed all the short SSNs. And you can see from the display we've added the dashes. So I'll go over here to country. Again, I'm more interested in the values at this point. So now I've reduced the number of countries. They've been now standardized and cleansed. And if I look at gender, then I have 3 distinct genders. So you've seen how to use out-of-the-box cleansing rules. You've seen how you can supplement that with your own user rules. And this would allow a business person that knows the most about the data to be able to collaborate in an overall enterprise integration cleansing effort and be able to add their rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I tell you, that is, that's something you can do yourselves. You don't need your IT department to clean up your data for you anymore. Very nice little feature. Thank you very much, Don. Okay, well, that's an awful lot of software we showed you. All of this is going to show, as can be seen in great detail. I'm sure you all have your schedules. And I think we have about 100 sessions to choose from. And so please check your schedules and visit these sessions. And I'll see you all, because I'm going to be going around these sessions also. So let me just say, it's going to be an exciting year. There's a tremendous amount of software we're showing. I want to thank you for your attention. So have a great session. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Great job.
Okay.
Oh no, he's back. We have a, we asked a bunch of you if you would take the time to work with the Infosys Plus product and see what you can build. And a lot of you got very, very creative. We thank you for your time and your submission. So I just want to announce from here the 4 winners that we picked for their hard work and efforts. And we're going to send you your prizes. And then we still got a lot of time before the next sessions go. So just as I wrap up here, we're going to have Sundance come back on and close out with a couple more tunes for you. So just give us an applause for each winner. I'll describe a little bit about what they've done here. Michigan State Police, and by the way, they're not going to be able to be here at the end of the week when we announce the awards for excellence. So I want to announce that they did win an award of excellence as well. But for their submission on the data visualization dashboards, I want to give them some credit here because they put together a dashboard that shows live predictive grid box. It's using active GPS tracking. It shows live data feed to track and display additional incidents, and they're doing live feeds from the cameras. So what I learned, my takeaway from this display, and they can only show me pieces of it, was if you're going to drive through Michigan, obey the law. I had to stare at this one for a few minutes and say, was this a mistake? But no, it wasn't. It was very, very deliberate. In fact, Lipari Foods, they won an award last year. This is an actual live grid that shows their live, kind of a mapping of their warehouses. So they're showing product inventory. And within that inventory data, the color coding and shaping really displays all the different criteria: product weight, damages, product value, and with a whole lot of drill down and zoom in and map functionality to all their inventory. So using the mapping technology to really show a live depiction of inventory management, we thought that was really creative. Congratulations to Lipari Foods. And then lastly, this one really impressed the heck out of me because, all right, so somebody used a map, they've got to win something for that, right? But I really liked the description and his justification. So he kind of probably wrote this knowing he was going to win an award. The 8.2 specific functionality used in this visualization. 1, I used auto-linking. 2, I used auto-drilling. Kevin Quinn's probably has a little tear in the corner of his eye right now. Very happy. 3, time series animation, also one of Kevin's favorites. 4, HTML5 extension chart from GitHub, right? So he reached out to the public domain. It's like he read the marketing literature and tried to prove everything was true. So this is great. Bubble map of claims opened by state can drill down to a map that can auto-drill between state, city, zip. Average time to close by claim date can be clicked on to filter other charts that are sorted by claim type and the one selected. So he goes on and on and on with all these features and capabilities. You had to win an award, so you got the 4th and final award as well. So great job, Kamesh. Okay. So I hope you found this informative. It sets us up for the rest of the agenda and the days. So I'm sure you got excited about a lot of the new technology. Please attend the roadmap sessions. Please attend all the product sections. But before we get out of here, we got no rush. We got a few minutes of Sundance Head. Thank you.
Darling, don't go. Leave me all by myself. I don't think I can make it without you. Lord, I know I was wrong to rather treat you that way. Well, I promise I will never do it again. Lord, I know what they say is true, babe. I could never live one day without you. Please come home, 'cause my heart is on the floor. Well, I'm walking in circles over you. Lord, I know I was wrong to rather speak to you that way. Well, I promise I will never do it again. Yeah. What they say is true, babe. I could never live one day without you. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Lord, I was lost, oh, but now I am found. I was blind, oh, but now I can see. Once I was a gypsy soul, rebel born to rock and roll, looking for an open road to spread my wings and fly. Freedom was another town to lift them up and bring them down. Another song, another round, hanging out, getting high. Oh, what happened? done to me? I'm someone I never thought I'd be. Now I sing a different tune underneath a different moon, wishing on a brand new start. Now I see the truth. You ain't got nothing, you got everything to lose. Till you finally find a home, you don't know the cost of being gone. Now I'm out here on my own, and you're on my mind. Now I know the strength it takes to gracefully keep the faith. Faithfully the love we made is in this heart of mine. Oh, what have you done to me? I'm someone I never thought I'd be. I sing a different tune underneath a different moon, wishing on a brand new start. Now I see the truth. You ain't got nothing, you got everything to lose. Sleep. I pray the Lord your soul to keep. I sing a different tune underneath a different moon, wishing on a brand new start. Now I see the truth. Once I was a gypsy soul, rebel born to rock and roll. Now I'm just headed home to you. You ain't got nothing, you got everything to lose. Oh, you ain't got nothing till you got everything to lose. Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for Sundance Head. Have a great summit, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
To us? Are we on? Excellent.
I'm checking my phone.
I'm like, hello.
Welcome back,
good.
guys and
Welcome
gals, to Summit 2017. We are here live at the Gaylord Resort and Spa in Dallas, Texas. Something a little different for us, right?
I know. It's fantastic. And what about
Sundance Head? I am a huge fan.
Me too.
You know, he has some
an incredible
voice. We timed that.
I know.
No, I thought he's phenomenal. I wish we had more time with him to perform.
I do too.
Timing is tight now, right?
I know, it's really tight. So the next session starts at 10:15. So we're already a little after 10. So people are obviously anxious to get out.
And we're not going to be here much longer.
Get a bit of coffee, I know, and this is like it with you guys. It
but thanks
like
for
really
tuning
short.
in. Hey, we've got international folks tuning in too.
Oh, we love that.
Thank you, Dennis Bartles.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that.
And everybody else that's watching. So hey, we're here live. I got a couple of notes. I took notes.
Fantastic.
I was paying attention to when they were presenting. Jerry did a great job, I thought. But boy, the demoers, big props to Porter, Mark, Dan, Kevin, and Lending with Don Bowers on the Iway side.
Indeed.
Awesome, just awesome. So big props to those guys. 227 new features in WebFocus 8201M.
And that's not even considered a major significant release
No.
for us. So to have that many features in not a significant release, amazing.
It is amazing.
Absolutely
So
amazing. I think it was a
big
challenge to
props.
even pick out which ones we were going to highlight.
Yep.
Yeah.
But big props to the product division. Thank you, guys and gals, and also QA to test all that stuff
That's a
and make sure
lot.
things are working.
So I
Tuffy.
really appreciate all that you do.
How about the
Each
cloud?
and every day. Pretty exciting.
I love the fact that we have such a dominant cloud presence now, right? I mean, we're going to be rubbing elbows with some of the major players out there.
Well, it's such a significant differentiator for us because it's an all-in, it's literally platform in the cloud from a BI and analytics perspective, not just
Feature function.
visualization, not just dashboard enablement, it's
Yep.
the entire WebFocus breadth of capability plus the managed hosting. So when you put that all together, it's a very compelling offering, and the price point, very compelling as well. So we actually have three brand new customers that are going to be lining up for
Love
cloud
it. Love
before
it.
the end of the month.
Awesome.
So a lot of new traction, a lot of new great activity and excitement around that. I agree.
So Wi-Fi here.
Not the best.
Not the best over here in this section. And the reason I mention that is that you can see next to Melissa, we have an Amazon Echo Dot, and we were going to share with you Ira Kaplan's demo, and unfortunately Wi-Fi was having a bit of a challenge right there. So we're not going to show the demo to you, but know that there was a very compelling demo around the Amazon Echo and the Amazon Echo Dot. SEs, if you're interested in getting more information, including a detailed script and the components as to what you need, reach out to Ira Kaplan or Dan Caratanudo. Both have that down.
cool.
He did it this morning prior to us kicking it off. It worked, it was awesome. And all of a sudden Wi-Fi, we're having some challenges, so we figured let's not even try to attempt it and being a little silly.
It's good to have, because a lot of players in the industry that don't do nearly what we do are touting this heavily, this capability heavily. So it's really important to know that we do it as well.
And we've been doing it a while, so know that. Hey, the page designer.
I know, so
that
cool.
Kevin
Can we
was,
do special shout outs to somebody?
I've got his name written down, Jeff Restunde. Major props. He's actually here, so I saw him earlier, but major props to him, because if it wasn't for him and his innovative thinking, a lot of that wouldn't be done. He was doing this type of stuff as a consultant on site at many of our customers, and we said, hey, let's get that into the product. So major props to Jeff.
Enable it for all customers.
Awesome.
I'm so happy that Jeff is joining the product group. He's made such an impact so quickly.
I love that guy. Love him.
Yeah, he's only been in the product group for less than a year, and the impact, I mean, just what Kevin showed today was just exciting stuff. So more to come on that as well.
But I want to give a shout out to Dan Caratanudo. He's leading the charge around innovation for future releases of the product. So big props to Dan. He's thinking out of the box. He's coming up with new and innovative ways of delivering information to people. So keep going, Dan Caratanudo. We appreciate all your efforts on that, including the Amazon Echo demo. So thank you for that. And also, something new too, Bob Ferrante is now part of the product division team. So he's leading that side of the charge as well. Hey, we are excited. We got to safely get him up here, though.
Yep.
So Sundance Head is going to join us, guys and gals.
I'm going to get a seat for him.
This guy. So if you weren't aware, back in 2007, and I should wait till he comes up, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Sundance was on American Idol, and he made it to the semifinals, which was pretty cool. Didn't win that. Last year, 2016, he was on The Voice. Mike Corcoran gave a great introduction to Sundance.
So sweet joining us on our TV
Thank you, sir.
broadcast, Sundance.
Sundance, it's a pleasure. You were awesome
job.
on stage.
Excellent job.
I think your twin could be Mark Nesson
right here.
without a beard. But holy cow.
Voice you have.
You have a gift, sir.
Wonderful. So Sundance, thank you so much for joining us. We have a pretty big, not as big as The Voice, but a pretty big audience out there. We're live streaming about our session, so you're so sweet to join us. We really appreciate it. My name's Melissa. This is Chris.
We met you at the
the
elevator yesterday as you checked in.
We told you that we were going to try to get you on our TV broadcast. So it's huge, right? Yeah. Well, your voice is huge.
Well, thank you. It
Amazing,
wasn't quite ready
sir.
this morning. Been here. It's early, man.
It's early, right? You're not used to doing
singing
early.
this early ever.
You are an incredibly talented artist. Know
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
And I was in Nashville about a month ago, and I got to spend some time downtown on Broadway, going to Rippy's and going down to Nudie's Honky Tonk and checking out all the live acts. Holy cow, do you blow away everybody that performs
thank
there.
you, man.
You are just incredible.
So I have to it's such an honor to meet you because I followed you on your journey on The Voice, and I voted for you every week, 10 out of 10 every week. I didn't give anyone else 10 because I wanted you to win.
Oh, well, thank you. It works. Thank you very much.
So I would get my online app every week, and I would do Sundance 10, and I would vote for other artists as well, but no one got a 10, only you, week in and week out. So it's such a pleasure to meet you. So how has things changed for you?
We've just been
since
on the
The
road
Voice?
ever since. I've probably been home around 10 days total since winning, so.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a good thing, That's what I
All
want to
right.
do is, try to get my music out to as many people as possible, so. Luckily, the summer come, so now I can bring the kids with me on tour.
So your son is here with you here?
He's here with me. He's in
Great.
the green room right now watching cartoons, but
Awesome.
and running my phone battery now.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I enjoy traveling with my family, and we have a wonderful time, and we're just thankful, and we feel really blessed that we have the opportunity right now to go all over the United States playing music. So
that's fantastic.
So I hopped on YouTube, and I am not a big watcher of The Voice, unfortunately. And so I'm Googling you, and I'm watching all your videos from the initial blind audition to the battle rounds, and I'm watching all your recordings, and you're an amazing artist. But one of the things that I found fascinating is your dad. Your dad, right, Roy Head, 1965, his song, right, and I have it written down here because Treat Her Right was #2 in the charts.
that's right. It would have went to #1, but there was a little band called the Beatles, and
It's a little band.
a song called Yesterday, which turns out to be like one of the greatest
I never heard of that song.
So the odds were against him, but he did go #2, so it's pretty special.
But there is a video out there. Shindig was the TV show,
Right, yeah.
and there's a live performance of Roy Head performing that.
He's a dancing fool.
Oh, it's awesome! It's just awesome.
He was one of the few white artists that was afforded the opportunity to do the Chitlin circuit whenever it was really, really popular, and a lot of Motown guys were doing it. So he got on that scene, and a lot of people thought he was black because they didn't have social media.
Sure.
When they heard the song on the radio, they thought Roy Head was black. So he would sell out the Apollo Theater and things like that, and then of course he would come on stage and people would be like, "What is going on? Where's
he's
Roy
got
Head?"
that James Brown dance going on, though, right? I mean, he's got that stuff.
He toured with James Brown.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Did he
sure
I could
did.
see that.
Very cool.
He sure
Very
did,
cool.
but you know, I can't dance at all, so
You don't need to, sir.
So
you don't need
I just
to.
hide behind a guitar and sing, you know.
But I thought it was so fitting that you and Blake Shelton did a duet of the same song.
Yes,
right?
yes. You know,
In
we
the
were going
finals.
to do a duet, and I said, "Hey, Blake, what do you think about doing my dad's song, Treat It Right?" And he said, "Man, that's absolutely the perfect thing. We'll do that to honor your dad." And I was really thankful. So
How cool is Blake Shelton?
he's super
Is
cool.
he as cool as he is
Hey,
on
if you,
television?
however cool you think Blake is, he's cooler than that.
Wow, really?
So I'm going to Nashville Thursday to play CMA Fest in the morning, and then that night I'm going to play with Blake at the Grand Ole Opry. So we're really excited about that.
that's awesome.
Have you ever done the Grand Ole Opry?
I did it around a month ago. It was my very first time. So I'll be there this Thursday with Blake, and then next Thursday I'll be back with my dad. And as far as I understand, I believe we're the first father-son to do the Grand Ole Opry, so that'll be neat to go down in history for that.
That's fantastic. Very cool. Well, I know as an artist, especially in your genre, that's kind of a big
Yeah,
pinnacle
I would have never
place to get, right?
I would have never thought in a million years that I would be playing the Opry ever.
And here you're doing it multiple times.
Yeah,
How
well,
cool is that?
the very first time I did it was Carrie Underwood's 100th time.
100.
So I go, how is it possible to do it 100 times?
Wow.
Even if you did it 10 years, I mean, how many times do you have to do it a month to do it 100 times?
100 times. So for our audience, do you, other than the song that you did of your dad's, do you have another favorite song, like people going out there just learning about you, that you want them to go out and download a favorite song of yours? Do you have a favorite?
My favorite song is Darling Don't Go. It's a song I wrote for my wife. But I just recorded a single in Nashville with producer Buddy Cannon, who is producer of the year last year for country music, and he's incredible. And we recorded a song with Alison Krauss called How I Want to Be. And right now, currently, that's my favorite song.
Cool.
And
All right.
we should have it out in around a week, maybe a week and a half for downloads. And we'll release that on social media and everything, and hopefully people will enjoy the song.
Very cool. Very
Alison
cool.
Krauss is such a fantastic singer. I mean,
And musician, too,
yeah,
right?
when I hear her
mean,
sing, it's like incredible. It makes me cry a little bit. She's so amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
You know,
Wonderful.
when I first listened to you, you reminded me a lot of Ricky Skaggs.
Oh, Ricky Skaggs is amazing. That's
Yeah,
not a
well,
bad
so are
comparison.
you. So are you.
I always get Chris Stapleton and Steve Perry had a baby. It would be me, which is fine. That's a great
That's
compliment.
awesome.
I love Steve Perry.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for your time.
Yes, sir.
You're
You
such a
were
gentleman.
amazing. It's a
It's
pleasure to have you here.
Such
You're going to
a
get a lot of
pleasure.
new fans.
And we're going to be able to say that we knew you just as you were, just
Taking off.
Taking off. So remember us, remember the little
Yeah, yeah,
people, you know.
yeah, well-
and really, thank you again for coming
No
and
problem.
adding.
No problem. We had a great time. I'm going to go take a nap.
I think I will too.
Exactly. So are we going to sign off with here? We can't get any better than this.
Yep.
So Sundance, we say goodbye to our audience at home, and we'll see you
goodbye,
guys
everybody,
next time.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Bye,
guys
everyone.
and gals.
Thanks for tuning in.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.